grandfather and my grandmother, Chavira, their names were Rafael and Manuela Chavira. And they had 6 sons and 2 daughters. Mexican Revolution with Pancho Villa. And he was looking for men to go fight with him. So he sent a man over to the ranch where my grandmother and grandfather lived, because they had a big ranch called Hacienda, with lots of cows and horses and everything. And he told him that he wanted all those boys to join him in his war, with the war. And so that night, my grandfather said yes, she was going to send him. So that night, they packed up everything they could and started to get across to the United States from Chihuahua, where they were at, to El Paso, Texas. And so they crossed that evening. Well, no, it probably took them several days to get there because they were walking. And so they crossed on the El Paso border, and they were pretty rich people, my grandfather and my grandmother. So they had money when they came. And so they worked their way from there. I don't know where they stayed. I never knew. And they went to Albuquerque, stopped at Albuquerque, and one of my uncles got married there with one of the ladies from Albuquerque. It was Jose de la Luz. And then the rest of them came down to Williams. And they had a little gas station with 1 pump. And then my aunt married this Greek. My Aunt Guadalupe married this Greek. And he was working at a store. And with another Greek, and they bought the other Greek. And then my 2 uncles quit working at the box factory, and they went to work at the store. They owned it. Except for my father. He kept working at the box factory. Okay, my mother was born in Douglas or Bisbee, Arizona. I'm not sure which one. She's an American citizen because during the Mexican-American War, when they moved the border, not didn't move it, when they made the border, that part of the United States, the United States was included in the United States. Okay, my mother was born 1900. Okay, I don't know when my dad was born. Okay, and she used to work. Oh, I must tell you, my mother had 6 toes on one of her feet, one of her feet. Okay, one of her foot. Anyway, she had 6 toes, and so she couldn't wear shoes. But she would go to school, but she had to wear some open shoes. They would cut them open for her. Until she was a young adult, then they cut off the toe, but they cut off 2. They cut off her little toe and the little one that was growing next to the little toe. So she ended up with only 4 toes. In case any of you have children with 6 toes, okay? My mother used to work at a print shop in Williams, and she used to set print, whatever that is, by a big window. And my dad used to walk by there every day after work. And then she would come, after a while she would come out and talk to him for a little while. And then one day he came by and he told her, "We're going away." And she said, "Okay." So he took her from there, from the print shop, and they went to Flagstaff. In other words, they eloped. And they went to Flagstaff, and my grandfather, Chavira, was living there in Flagstaff, so he took my mother over there, and my grandfather said, "What are you going to do with Chavela?" And my dad said, "I'm going to marry her tomorrow." He said, "Okay, you can marry her tomorrow. But today, you both sleep in different beds." So they did, and they got married next day, and they lived in Flagstaff for a while. And then my grandfather and my dad decided to move back to Williams. And my dad started working at the box factory there. And We lived in several houses there in Williams, but the one I remember was the one up on the hill that my dad fixed because it had burned inside. He fixed it all up real nice. He put electric wires and everything. There's where we all lived till we could move to Flagstaff. Auntie Lupe, Chavira, and Uncle Pio Jaime. They met at school, and that's how they got to going steady. Okay.
Did they marry before World War II or after?
After. He was in the service. He was in the Army.
Okay. So they had known each other before he went into the service?
Oh, we had known each other almost all their lives. Because it was a small town in Williams.
Okay. So he went into the service,
Went to
and
the
then came
service.
back, and then
Then they got married.
All right. Now, they were the first ones to come to California, right?
As far as the Chaviras, yes. The Jaimes, some of the Jaimes were already here. So Uncle Pio, who is a Jaime, wanted to move over here
To be with his...
to be with some of his family, because his mother and father were moving up here from Williams. And so that they came okay, after that, Paco and his family moved up here. And they were here for a few years, and then they decided for Mother to sell her little house and come to California. And by that time, I was already married in Flagstaff to Romulo Troncoso, which you'd probably know him as Muggs.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us how you and Romulo met?
Oh, we met at school also. We were going to school, to the high school, and we used to walk back and forth from school together with Genevieve as our chaperone. No, what's really cute is that he lived about a block away from us, and I used to walk to a church, and Genevieve would walk from over there, and we'd meet at the church, her and I. I'd call her, "I'm on my way," and she'd, okay. So I was waiting there for her, and then Romulo would come out from his place, come over and say, "Hey, you want me to carry your books?" I said, "Sure." So he went away with my books. He went to school with my books, and Genevieve came, "Where's your books?" He said, "Oh, Romulo took them." "How come?" I said, "I don't know. He just asked me if I wanted him." I said, "Fine." He took them. So, "Oh, okay." So Genevieve and I walked back for several weeks. We did that, and then all of a sudden he decided to walk with us. And that was the beginning of romance.
Okay.
Just before my mother died, she left me a little card, and she said, "This is your record of your birth certificate." And I looked and I said, "Mom, it says Isabel." She said, "Yeah, your name is Isabel." I said, "No, it's not." I said, It's Lucy." He said, "No, your real name, your legal name is Isabel. When I was born, she named me Maria Isabel, after her. And then I was baptized. My aunt Lupe Chavira named me Maria de la Luz. So that's where Lucy came from. And ever since I was baptized, everybody called me Lucy, and I never knew my name was Isabel.
Together again, my tears have stopped falling. The long, lonely nights are now at an end. The key to my heart, you hold in your hand, and nothing else matters. We're together again. together